Welcome, fans. Two men, allies, cohorts, and two dudes that just know how to put on an awesome fucking show. Ladies and gentlemen, the Mark and Andre Podcast, Episode 3, Attack of the Nostalgia.
Thank you. Once again, this is another great episode of the Mark and Andre Podcast, the Mark and Andre Show, if you will, Episode 3. We're doing Attack of the Nostalgia. We're talking anything 90s related. Like I said, this whole podcast itself is going to span a lot of things. So people, the millennials around our time, 88 and below, they're going to really have, they're going to really feel at home with what we're going to say. And with me, the one that is the other half of the show, my friend Andre.
What's going on?
Andre, it's good to have you again. I'm glad that you're able to make it with your busy schedule. I know that you have that you have to fly out to Sicily tomorrow. I know that. You have to go to the Metropolitan Opera beforehand.
I know. I just got back from Spain. It's beautiful out there. I don't know. It's hard to make enough time to do this podcast, but I definitely had to make it back. I canceled my Spain trip early to get here.
Oh, geez. No, thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem, man.
You scumbag.
Son of a bitch.
By the way, this episode of the Mark and Andre Podcast is brought to you by Game Swappers. Game Swappers. Buy, sell, and trade your retro games and your retro consoles. You can contact them at 909-267-4270. They are located at 4520 Holt Boulevard, 91763 in Montclair, California. They do ship to all 50 states via their claim sales, so make sure you hop on their claim sales if you need some retro nostalgia headed your way. So, I wanted to start with something that's near and dear to our hearts. I know some people on this, some people in the retro collective community might appeal to this as well, but we're going to be talking first about our local game shop. Mm-hmm. Our local game shop, located in none other than Rialto, California, was called Rialto Coins.
Rest in peace.
Yes, rest in peace. I think they expired over in 2005, 2004, something like that. Mm-hmm. But the funny thing is that this place started as like a coin shop.
Yeah.
Rialto Coins. They didn't start off as a video game shop. This was I don't know whether or not they were a pawn shop because they had sports cards.
I couldn't tell, honestly. I didn't know what the store was. It was so mysterious and ambiguous.
Yes.
I don't really know its original history, but I do remember going in.
Yeah.
To me, it was like the Costco of video games. It didn't even make sense how cheap the games were.
Yeah. Well, the rub that they have is that you were able to trade in your games for $1. So say you turned in like a Sub-Zero's Mythologies for $1 to trade to another game to get your Superman 64.
Right.
I would go in there and
one bad decision into the next bad decision.
And I would trade in my freaking Tonic Trouble and I would get your Sub-Zero Mythologies. So it was just a constant shit exchange of games because I don't want to get this. I don't want to pay extra money. Let me see what Rialto Coins has.
Let me just trade, my Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for Jet Force Gemini and see what happens. And it never worked out. But no. I do recall, I don't believe that this is effective. As a kid, I was like, how is this working?
It was a small store, too.
Yeah.
And
everyone knew about it.
I felt very uncomfortable going in there when it was packed because it was just like, I'm touching butts with some other dude looking at the trading cards. It's funny too because in the latter days of Rialto Coins, nearing the end, my friend Caesar brought in a bunch of trading cards, old sports cards, and he shows them. And this guy didn't have. He had quite a few. He had the Magic Johnsons, Michael Jordans. He had good sports cards. But then no, we're not taking them. This is at that point you realize that this place was a dying.
It was on his last leg.
Well, for basketball cards and stuff. Though the trading card thing died out in the 2000s.
Definitely.
It's not coming back at all.
There's no.
I have baseball cards that are pretty much not going to do anything for me for a long time, a very long time. But we're not going to delve into a baseball card segment. But this place was so funny because it was before GameStop became popular, we would always say, "Hey, let's go to Rialto Coins real quick."
Right.
Let's go there.
And the service was great, man.
Yeah, the service was great when it wasn't packed. I remember Ivan bought NBA Jam there for, I think it was either $5 or $15. I said in the last podcast it was $5, but then I think it's going to be about 15. But that's NBA Jam.
He reevaluated his receipts.
I think I saw it at Game Swappers for like $10. So yeah, it's a certain. I mean, you're gonna have fun playing that game. Let's we already touched base on NBA Jam, but you're gonna have fun with that game. Dude. Who collects coins? Rialto Coins had a place that's like, but it was like, how old do you have to be to collect coins? Like, I have a Buffalo nickel. I want to see what I can get. Like a tweaker comes in with like a Buffalo nickel or a remember the Sacagawea dollar coins? The dollar coins? Like, we thought they were going to be, like, legit.
Worth something now.
The post office is the only place that gives them out, like, on the regular. Seriously? Like, if you try to buy stamps, they'll change you back in Sacagaweas. And see, doesn't that sound racist as hell? Like, yeah, just give me a couple Sacagaweas. Like, what? See, now you're affecting, like, it sounds, I hear Jew.
It's racially immoral.
Like, I hear Jew in that whole tone, too, and then I hear, like, an Indian lady's name. Yo, just toss me a couple Sacagaweas for that tub of oats.
Just give me a couple Jewies. Let me get a couple Jewies.
Yeah, but, this place, like your local game store, was really near and dear to our hearts. Maybe, instead of you saying let's go to Rialto Coins, maybe you're saying let's go to our local game store in the small town of Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, or something.
Well, I mean, one thing to note about Rialto Coins was, I guess to me, it got me to understand that retro games were like valuable in some sense. Even for its time, Okay. I'm trying to remember the exact era of game that we were in.
Yeah.
But it was like PlayStation.
When we started actually giving a damn about these games.
Well, I mean,
PlayStation 2 and Nintendo 64.
But just in the basis of Rialto Coins' lifespan.
Oh yeah,
because I do remember Nintendo they're selling Sega games. Who wants Sega games right now? Like,
at that point, we were all like,
but did we not know?
Yeah, exactly. There wasn't. This retro movement now is crazy. So for a shop to not exist like that kind of spreads out people to go to other places, like to go to Game Swappers, to go to other retro game places.
It was a little ahead of its time in a weird way.
Yes, because you're selling things. You're selling things that are at a cheap rate. You're not going to make much off a dollar trade.
But the word of mouth.
You have to pay for the brick and mortar. You have to pay for the space and all that, like bills, utility bills. It really wasn't profitable. But only if you bought, the game, or no, only if you sold the game like at the retail price.
Right, but they never did that.
All they did was trades.
Yeah,
and that's kind of the downfall of Rialto Coins, is because they really had a dominant market for trading. At a dollar a pop, you're really not going to do much. At the course of an hour, I would assume that they had a few customers an hour, especially in the dying days of the retro of people trying to buy these games or even trading them. But nonetheless, this place still exists. I think what I'll do to benefit anyone, whoever pays attention to my Instagram account, I'll take a photo of it because it still says Nintendo's buy, sell, and trade. It says Nintendo's.
It's like a gravestone.
That is the telltale phrase of a reseller when they're like, yeah, I have Nintendo's. I have Nintendo's and Nintendo tapes. Excuse me while I have
to readjust.
Yeah, to readjust here. But yeah. So that kind of appeals to a small point of the audience, like specifically in Rialto in particular, or the Inland Empire. But you can probably appeal to this as well because your small retro game market in small town USA can probably share similar characteristics to that of Rialto Coins, and as near and dear as it was to us, it's probably same thing with you.
Same value,
unless they're like reselling scumbags. Fucking
some grimy,
some grimy guy who has like a bunch of Zelda gold. This is a gold Zelda cartridge. It's $80,
$90, kid.
$90 cash.
That's my final offer.
One of a kind,
two of a kind, but I have both.
So. Now, I know this place still exists, but the height of its popularity was during our time in the mid-90s, in the early 90s as well. Toys R Us was really the central point of, if you wanted to play a game at the demo kiosk, if you wanted to get all the hot toys, Toys R Us was awesome.
It was the place.
Yes.
And it almost had a Nickelodeon aesthetic to it, like very vibrant, colorful. The store looked magical.
They had the same pattern that of a Fruit Stripes gum.
Yeah. Like the rainbow colored,
yes.
Like everything was bright, vivid, and colorful.
I haven't seen Fruit Stripe gum.
No.
I haven't seen them.
I think I saw one, but it was like...
it was dusty.
It was in an ancient chest. Had to open it up.
It still had the Global Guts promo on it. No, but funny thing you mentioned that is when Toys R Us was actually affiliated with Nickelodeon in the
That's why they had...
Because they had the shopping spree.
Yeah, that Nickelodeon giveaway where it was the largest... it was the largest Toys R Us, and you had to get from one point to the other and grab as many toys as possible.
Yes, exactly.
But they knew it was impossible because the parent didn't know their kid well enough to find the toy for them.
Yeah.
And then they messed up the aisle names. It's like, this aisle is supposed to be for games, and they run and it's a bunch of Barbies. It was all a trick. Yeah. Like, if you watch it now, they never make it. Like, I've never seen a parent make it. And if they did, like,
it was the parents that did the run?
Yeah, the parents did the run for the kids.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it wasn't the kids that did the run. It was the parents. So that's what sucks about it. You get like, because I remember it was like, they would give you, I think it was just 1 minute, 60 seconds to go through every aisle and grab the toys for your kids and get to the end of the store, like you had to cross a finish line.
Impossible.
It was impossible.
I remember trying to sign up for that and thinking I actually had a legitimate chance. I remember asking the guy at the counter, here's me, like 8-year-old me, excuse me, sir, do you have the Nickelodeon like shopping spree sweepstakes card? He's like, oh no, just here, take a paper, fill out your name, and we'll figure it out. And here I am thinking like this guy is actually going to do like a civil service and actually try to make sure I get entered
like he's
in
gonna
this
look
contest.
Out for you.
Yeah, he probably like wiped his ass with it or threw it in the trash.
As soon as you walked away,
I know he spit on it, burned it.
Gave it to another kid.
Here, his address. That's how identity theft started. Like that was the first iteration of identity theft in the 90s.
It started with you, man.
Yeah. What toys do you remember buying or seeing there that you wanted to get? Or
I had like my childhood is tragic in a weird way because I usually did get what I wanted, but everything that I wanted came in twos. It was in pairs, and I'm an only child. And my mom keeps buying. I got you that laser tag set. Remember that old laser tag?
Yeah.
You had like this weird vest that went over your shoulders, and then you get one laser gun, and you pull the trigger, and it makes your chest light up or whatever. Yeah. She would always get the 2-packs of everything, so because it always came in twos.
Yeah.
So she gets me both, and I have no friends to play with. So I'm putting around bears and I'm shooting the bears. I got you. Why don't you move? Like I was so sad and alone, but it was definitely that, and what was it? Oh, definitely the Rubik's Cube. I actually used to play the Rubik's Cube a lot. I know that sounds like nerdy and simplistic, but that game was really fun to me, and I actually started to get the hang of it. And okay, at one point, I really wanted a Furby, and it took a long time to get one. And then when I finally got
sold out for a long time.
When I finally got it, it was the worst nightmare you could ever have with a toy. Oh my god,
it would scare you at night.
In the middle of the night.
Yeah, it would go off. Yeah, it'd go off.
Wake up, Andre.
Oh,
wake up on the foot of my bed, staring into my eyes.
It would move.
Buy more. And he was asking for brothers and friends, and he wouldn't talk to me unless I, prayed to it. It was really rough, man.
You had a fucked up Furby. You had the one that Chucky like sold his soul into from Child's Play. I think that's the one you got.
No, okay. I had to take the batteries out because he kept screaming.
As soon as you take the batteries out, you're hurting me.
No, it scared the hell out of me. And they brought him back, and I hope they fixed them in some capacity because the older ones, I heard nothing but horror stories. As much as people bought them and as much as the world went crazy over them, nobody ever had a good story to tell about a Furby. Did you have one?
No, I didn't. I remember one of my cousins had one, and it was just creepy because these things would say stuff out of the random,
out of nowhere.
All you had was an on and off switch,
right?
So they're collecting they're collecting intelligence from what you do, what you say.
They're recording you.
Like I could just imagine your best friend over and like, don't you hate this, man? Like, or it's dropping a bunch of like inappropriate things to say at the inappropriate time.
As soon as you walk out of the room to go to the bathroom, Terrence, Andre doesn't like you.
He said this, man, fuck that dude, Terrence, man. I don't like him. He sends audio recordings of like...
He calls him for me, talk shit.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, like Furbies. It was one of my bigger toys that I wanted.
What about those Tamagotchis?
I had
or nanos?
I had like 5 of them, and I kept killing them.
You had 5?
Yes.
Why would you have 5?
I don't know.
Weren't you happy
man.
with one?
I wasn't satisfied. I had like every Tamagotchi and a Gigapet.
Oh, I had a Gigapet. I had a T-Rex.
And I was just like, I would be in class just like...
You would link them up,
Yeah,
too.
link them up. And then
you'd link them up and fight.
Clean up like mounds and mounds of shit. That's all they would do.
I know, that's all you did. Like,
what else am I supposed to do with you?
You leave them alone for an hour, they're all dead. Are you sure this is dead? Yeah, I see the X's on the eyes. They're pretty much dead.
You got to buy a new one now. Like,
imagine you had to do that instead of resetting it. Because remember, if it was really serious, you had to get that needle point pen and reset it.
Yeah, because oh man, my Tamagotchi's having seizures, and I know I can't afford the doctor bills. You
had to have a consultation with doctors. Oh, let's see. You're in for your physical? Yeah, but can you check out my Tamagotchi?
The Tamagotchi registered doctor? Yeah. An extra 5 years of school?
Because remember, you had to buy... What you had to do with these... what I specifically remember at Toys R Us was... I had this story about WCW versus NWO Revenge, of them being sold out so many times. And like... Every time I would look behind the advert, like the advertisement of the game, they would have the display. They wouldn't have the stock of games behind it.
Right.
I would check to see if they had a ticket for it. Because if they had a ticket, that means they might have been in stock. They might have been.
They had golden tickets? Like,
yeah. And like, you would have to go give it to some dude. It's like, oh, let me see.
Wait, not a representative, just some guy?
Yeah, some guy was in a window. Like, because after you purchased it, you would pick it up. And it was just really... Like, I don't know why they did that, because it's like, you would assume that it would be faster to go get the associate, grab the game behind the counter, give it to the person at the cashier, and then ring it up.
Right.
But,
no,
I guess
they want it to be
well, that's why the one
possible.
That's why the one by our house closed down. I think that's why. Their system sucked. There's only one down in Ontario now.
The last one?
Well, I don't know if it's the last Toys R Us. But this place, it's like... Who still... Do they still have Toys R Us?
I honestly don't recall.
I think they do.
I mean, it might still be a company. It's still running, but I haven't seen any adverts.
Oh, yeah, they still do. Yeah, the distribution center is right along the way. I forgot.
Right, but I don't see advertising for it or anything like that. Like, it's not really a big name topic. It's almost weird because...
The Babies R Us, too.
But I feel like, I don't know, the toy store is dying or something.
Yeah, online.
Yeah, but everything's digital. Like, these kids don't even want toys; they want iPads and shit like that. Yeah. But I don't know, because when I worked at the place I used to work at,
I
don't want to say its name out loud.
Yeah, it's just a distribution center.
Distribution center. They're just rehashing every old toy.
Yeah,
and they're just modernizing it. So it's like the Furby's back, but it has digital eyes and everything's digitized, and you can plug it into your app. Yeah. Like a Barbie is still a Barbie, but you can now plug the Barbie into your phone and like have it download your face and talk to you and shit like that.
Oh wow!
Like everything is just trying to implement technology now. Yeah. Like you see Sorry, and you can plug your fucking Sorry into your phone.
Yeah, I've seen Simon. Simon had a like an LED type of light up screen.
Now.
Yeah,
it's touchscreen. You don't have to touch anymore. You just think thoughts, and it tracks your thoughts and puts it on for you.
The main thing I was really psyched about, video games when I went, and I liked the board games.
Right.
Because Tommy and Danny would play with me in the board games. And I remember begging my mom to get It from the Pit. Do you remember It from the Pit?
No.
Oh my gosh. So it's a board game where it was all the way around. It was like a circle. And this thing in the middle would spin around. It can rotate. And then what ends up happening if you get the selected card to get grabbed, the It from the Pit would take its claw and swipe you.
What the hell?
And make you start all over.
What satanic
game? And then the same thing with the I think, man, that it was like it's not like it's like a temple game. Mm-hmm. And there was rubies at the top of this temple game, but the bridge would shake. I forget, because then you're like explorers and stuff.
I know what you're talking. What the hell?
Like it was a treasure game, but the bridge would shake. James and Board James did it.
Oh damn!
But I forget the name of it. Anyway, what toys do I remember getting there myself? I remember looking for Power Rangers. I remember looking for Tamagotchis,
figurine.
Yeah, looking for. Just video games too, because I was at the point where they would be the one to look at for video games. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't at the indoor swap meets, it would be at the it would be at Toys R Us. But I would have, like, during its peak of popularity, if you lived in, like, a big city, all the places with the popular games would sell out.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a joke. It's like, I tried to find Super Smash Bros. 64 as a little kid for a long time, and I couldn't find it. It was hard.
I remember the hype behind that game when it first came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was impossible.
Yeah.
Like, you had to, like, it was like Turbo Man. Like,
it was the actual Turbo Man. You know what? While we're doing that, I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look that thing up. But no, Power, like I said, the Power Rangers with the flip up heads.
Yeah, the one that would like transform.
Were you into Micro Machines at all?
I wasn't into Micro Machines, but I was definitely into Hotbox racers and all that. The Micro Machines were not hot.
What kind of game is that? Hotbox.
Put a cardboard box around you, fill it with smoke, man.
Okay, so you would
one to pass out.
You
loses.
Put your hash in the back of the tailpipe of the car and smoke it. Okay, yeah. Hotbox. Get you. The DeLorean Hotbox. That's good.
Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels. Oh, why don't you say so?
Yeah, definitely Hot Wheels. No, I never had Micro Machines, but I definitely had Hot Wheels, man. And like, it was to that point where you could customize your track, you know?
Yeah.
So I would have, especially the one that went up the wall. Yeah. They had one that went up the wall. So, I had 4 or 5 sets, and I tried to combine them to make this super crazy course. Yeah. But I didn't have enough of those, those little modifiers that speed up your car. Yes. Like those little Sonic things or whatever. Yeah. I didn't have enough of those, so I couldn't make it go fast enough to go through the entire track. So I was just stuck with a shitty Hotbox set. Jeez. Hot Wheels set that I couldn't enjoy thoroughly. But man, I was a big Hot Wheels kid. I had a whole bunch of those whips, man. Like all different types of little cars and this massive track. Every time I guess every month I would add to it and try to make it larger and larger. But like I said, I didn't have enough to make it operate the way it was supposed to. Yeah. But I don't know, Micro Machines, I never were really into. I didn't like them. Yeah. I didn't see much to do with them.
I liked them. I had a few. It's just I was into like the miniature size of them because they would used to have miniature cities. Mm-hmm. And my grandpa would. It's funny too because my grandpa, like I was very into that stuff because my grandpa would come back with like city plans with like miniature like city proposal plans, like little banks and stuff. Yeah, because he would do air conditioning and he'd come back with like little small scale, like this is the bank we're gonna build, but you're gonna go in and do the AC for it. What the hell? Dude, that was tight. So I would like take my little Micro Machines and run through them. It was cool. Like
it's actually awesome.
I know there's a lot of places that whoever does that as a real job is the man. Yeah, is the man. Okay, so what about do you ever remember spending a lot of time while your mom was shopping at these the video game kiosks?
At the video game kiosks,
like where they give you a demo reel of of PlayStation and Nintendo 64.
Yeah. I think that's how I got my first taste of Cool Borders.
Oh, the demo disc of Cool Borders? I did that with Tony Hawk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Tony Hawk for
Tony
sure.
Hawk had the warehouse run.
I got bit by the bug from the demo, dude. Like, I played the shit out of the demo. Yeah. Over and over. I couldn't believe it existed.
Demo disc was so much fun.
I don't know what, like...
The reason Nintendo 64 didn't do it is it costs a lot to make those carts. Right. With CDs and the benefit of the PlayStation is like you had a lot more... You had the ability to sell a lot more because these demo discs would come with PlayStation Underground. Right. The subscription of PlayStation Underground would give you the little disc along with the magazine. Mm-hmm. I remember... I'm glad we're older now because if I said this story now, it would be pretty messed up. But my grandma would... during the shopping mall strip, there was a Target, mm-hmm. and there was like 3 stores down, there's a Ross. She would drop us off at Target so we could play the games while she shopped at Ross. So here we are, like Denny's 11. Denny's 11 or 12, and I'm like 10. And 2 little kids just hogging up the demo machine, going back and forth. If I'm not in line, Denny's in line, and we just keep switching in and out. While Grandma would shop over at Ross.
Gone without a trace, just
dude. That's what she did, but it was good because we would bug her, right? Like if we weren't at a place we didn't want to be. I mean, who wanted to be at a Ross when we know there's video games at Target?
Ross was hell to a child.
Yes, they had lame soundtrack, very lame. No, but one thing I do appreciate from Target was the game kiosk, and And their snack bar food really kept me alive during the whole time there.
That helped you with survival.
I know, yeah. A little kid. I remember I ordered like a hot dog and a drink, and I was, you know how like when people look at you when you're super little,
right?
And they're kind of wondering like where you got this money from,
right?
You know, and I got that look a lot, especially when I would just do my own thing at Target. But it was fun. It was
2-hour-long binges of the demo.
Yeah, dude, I would wreck shop in Tony Hawk, and then Ape Escape was on there too.
Ape Escape was dope.
Ape Escape was a good game.
I was surprised. Like, yeah, one thing for sure about demo discs, it definitely like they made sure that they demoed good games.
Yeah.
So I got my first taste of Bloody Roar through demo.
Okay,
disc.
yeah, right.
Intelligence Cube. Nobody, or it's IQ, but Intelligence Cube. Nobody knows about this game, but it was like one of the dopest puzzle games I played for a long time when I was young. Ape Escape for sure. Tabal?
Oh, Toba. The guy with the pink hair?
Tabal is the fighting game.
Yeah. The guy with the pink hair?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Got me hooked on a lot of stuff, man. Like, I don't know. I don't think they do demo disc anymore. They just, you download or you go to the PlayStation Store, right?
I think they just, you're able to just download a little portion of it, but
it's not the same.
Yeah.
Like the thrill of having, just grabbing the disc. You don't know what the fuck's on it.
Yeah.
Just put it in, like, oh.
That would be awesome. I remember seeing a lot, like when I go yard sale hunting, I see people trying to like pass off these demo discs as like actual games. And I let them know. I educate them on it. Like, well, you see what happened is PlayStation Underground, and then like
back in 1997.
5 minutes later, it's like, okay, well, you gonna buy it or not? No, I'm not.
Get out of my face.
Yeah, exactly.
Spitting on you.
So we did that, and we did a lot of the kiosks because Toys R Us had a good kiosk. No, Target had the Nintendo 64 kiosk.
Yeah, they had them
and then
broken
the
up
PlayStation kiosk.
Yeah,
but with the actual Nintendo 64 kiosk, you would have you had huge games. You had the Legend of Zelda. Mm-hmm. You'd have the
Mario
Ocarina
64.
of Time. You had Ocarina of Time, and then you'd have Majora's Mask. And who would honestly stay there and play that game? Like at any time that you're in the Legend of Zelda, you have to go off of a linear. You have to know what you're doing.
Right.
Because if you're lost in Zelda, you have to like know exactly what pace you're at, what things you have to get, because this game is huge.
It's open world, yeah.
So how are you going to try to like have fun playing this game when you don't know what the next man did? Or, it's
when
like...
you show up in the middle of the game.
To demo that. It's just crazy. It's like, demo Super Mario World. Don't demo a huge adventure game that you need... like 2 hours beforehand to know where you're going to be at, in present time.
Right. Like Mario 64, you just jump into a painting, you're in a world,
Yeah, exactly. With this, you have to like go on these adventures, go through dungeons. It's like, you don't know what you got to do. And with the way Zelda works is that you need said item to advance to this dungeon.
Right.
You need this to go to there. That's how it is. But with Mario, if you have enough coins... you'll see it like, you can go into that, if you have enough stars, you can go into that place.
Yeah.
That's how easy it was. But it's like for people to do Majora's Mask, that time, remember you have 3 days to do it. You have 3 days to do it. And, you'd end up dying because the moon hits you and you're dead. Like, there was no point to do it.
Super pissed moon.
Along the lines of Toys R Us places, along the lines of these places were fun zones. Were our Chuck E. Cheese's, were the Showbiz Pizzas. Showbiz Pizza is a little more attributed to the East Coast, but I wanted to shout them out because
they
do know. But we had Discovery Zone. DZ. God. I don't know if a lot of people are gonna, find a common ground with this, but picture about twice the space of a Chuck E. Cheese, but it's all play place.
Yeah.
This place was huge.
It was unreal.
2 stories. Well, not...
Yeah, there was 2 stories.
Yeah, exactly. The height of 2 stories, but we're talking like 4 ball pits, one with like a mountain on it, and you could climb it. I think they had zip lines that you would like...
Yeah, you could zip line with your arms.
Yeah, you would zip line through with your arms. Man.
The anti-gravity chambers.
Yeah, right. Anti-gravity. Backwards engineering done by Discovery Zone. No, but I do... This place was, it was right in the right time, but I think I would assume that they would deal with a lot of lawsuits.
Yeah, like a lot of kids. Because they had I remember one particular part, it's like, you had to run through a really long corridor full of rubber sticks and beams,
yes,
and they hit the shit out of you. They're just constantly swinging,
yes,
and you have to get through to the other end. But like they hurt like a bitch, especially for a kid, because they were I believe they were covered with like a rubber with some kind of rubber wrap, but it's swinging so hard, and you're a little kid, it hurts. It hurts bad.
I think that's why they went under, because I mean,
that corridor itself was the reason.
That's a specific reason. I mean, you gotta think about it. Is like a place that's all place is
with a bunch of rowdy ass kids,
with kids you don't know, with other parties, like. Wendell's bar mitzvah is next to like Rosalinda's quinceañera. Like you're gonna meet, there's gonna be a class of cultures here.
Exactly.
Like so, the funny thing is that this place was. I think I went once or twice, but this place was just. I remember it, dude. It was crazy.
It was an experience to behold.
Huge place.
Right.
It was nuts.
It's like I guess it kind of took what Chuck E. Cheese had and cut the fat. Like, if I recall, there was much less arcade and far more playpen. And I think that's a good balance, because I do remember going to Discovery Zone. I think it was for a birthday or something like that. Like, what the fuck is this place? I've never heard of it.
This place is huge.
The moment you walk in, you're overwhelmed. I mean, the nostalgia factor, I mean, I'm sure as an adult now, if I were to see Discovery Zone again,
it's probably small.
It's small as shit. It's like compact. But I do remember just massive amounts of tubes. Those tubes
going through,
and each tube had like a little mini game at the end of it. And then if you didn't want to do the tubes, you just went through the obstacle course. If you didn't want to do the obstacle course, there were so many options.
Yes.
And Chuck E. Cheese is like, you get 3 options, and they're all
you get the ball pit,
area.
the rotating slide,
right? And it's all unsanitized and sweaty.
All the
kids
places
are shitting, crying. But Discovery Zone to me felt like it was taken care of.
Yeah,
like they sanitized it every night or something. Who knows? But it was about the fun.
Yeah,
like the food and the game, like the video games.
Yeah, it's all pizza.
I
mean, pizza's pizza, but
pizza's pizza.
But the best part about that, I had this funny story. I remember, like you know what honestly makes a good experience at a Chuck E. Cheese is like if you meet someone there that you don't know that is super cool.
Yeah, and
I remember this dude named Sean that had like the Tommy had the home the Jonathan Taylor Thomas haircut. This guy was cool, man. He was like, "Yeah, Mark, hey, come with me. What's your name?" I was like, "Yeah, my name's Mark." And I was little. Like, "Yeah, come on, Mark. Yeah, let's go. Hey, let's like have fun." I'm like, "All right, cool, man." Like, so me and my I think whoever we were with, we were all just having fun with this guy named Sean.
Right.
And this is when, I don't know if you're gonna remember this, but this is when super sharp rings were like in style, like glass rings. Mm-hmm. You remember that?
No,
dude. Glass rings were like in. They were like pointed too.
I remember the glass rings. I don't remember the pointed.
Well, they were sharp. If they weren't pointed, but they were probably sharp. Maybe this is still. I'm trying to recollect when I'm little. Yeah, dude, he ended up cutting himself. He ended up cutting himself into TC.
Slits his own wrist.
Like, dude,
like it was the first time you met him. He slits his own wrist with his ring, and that was it.
He's like, "This is what I have to do, Mark. Just go away.
This could have been a good friendship." Like guys in your arms.
This is all pivotal.
You're in the tube.
That's why I only have a select few friends.
You buried him in the ball pit. You just covered the ball.
That's why they closed that one down. Because I had to stack a bunch of balls.
Had a Five Nights at Freddy's type thing going on.
So this guy cuts himself inside the ball pit. There's blood like all over his hand and all over the balls and like
pause.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just that's just one of the experiences I had, and it kind of ruined my day because it was like I don't want to.
You meet this super cool person.
I know, he's all cool, and then like all hell breaks loose, and now he's like, "Oh man, I don't want to be next to Sean as soon." Like, get sanitized, then we'll hang out. Because I was still like that, man. I didn't like being around blood, man. The blood was nasty.
You're a young kid who doesn't want to be around blood.
Did you go there often at all?
As far as Discovery Zone, like you said, I think I only went like 4 times, and all of a sudden it was gone.
Yeah, did you go to the one in Rancho Cucamonga?
Yes, okay. I did. Yeah,
that was the one I went to.
And I just couldn't. Every time I went, like as soon as I heard we're going to Discovery Zone, I'd lose my shit. And then we get there, and it's like, you're having a good time as a kid is when they tell you it's time to go and you want to kill your family.
You're like
you're in the car, like contemplating how am I going to get rid of my whole family because you had so much fun and they took it away from you. I do remember. In particular, just the obstacle course. Like, going through the same fucking obstacle course like 20 times over and over as fast as I could. And then, I don't know. I remember definitely going to a Chuck E. Cheese, like, after, like, maybe a month or so after, and just being disappointed.
Yeah.
Just hating it. Like, it's not the same experience at all.
I remember more times. I remember that one time at Discovery Zone.
More of your Chuck E. Cheese
besides the one I was telling you earlier about this mech game that I went over to there's a Chuck E. Cheese over in Diamond Bar where they had this mech game, and I assume it's not going to be there anymore. But this game was nuts. It's like it literally like captivated me, and I still try to remember what game it was. But you're in a cockpit, and you're with the mech with two triggers on the left and the right. You get to move this mech with that,
and you walk with it and everything.
Yeah, man, it was cool because you would feel the movements and everything. Yeah,
ahead of its time.
I'll look it up, but nonetheless, this place really took what Chuck E. Cheese kind of lacked, where they were more arcade than play place.
Yeah,
you know, well, it was more arcade than play place. That's what Chuck E. Cheese's MO was, but this place was all play place, few arcades. I think that was a good dynamic, but what you had to do was you probably faced a bunch of losses. I know you probably I don't remember signing a waiver. Probably my mom did, but you had to sign a waiver. I think it was common sense.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, you probably still get sued because of the drastic injuries.
I wouldn't be surprised because I do remember busting my shit a lot there.
Yeah.
But when you're a kid, you don't believe in pain. So, you're running around, you get hurt, and you just get up laughing.
Yeah.
And you keep going. You can... I distinctly remember this.
What?
I tried to do a front flip into the ball pit, and there was a kid already in it, and I headbutted him.
Hit his head to head?
Head to head. No blood, but it didn't mean shit. Yeah. Run around, had more fun.
Just got a lumped up.
Big ass lump on my head, whatever, who cares? Like... I think Discovery Zone's entire design was one to be a good competitor to Chuck E. Cheese, and also to, I don't know, have kids be more physical than fuck with the games and eat pizza.
Yeah.
And stare at giant mechanical robots that scare the shit out of you. If you recall,
yes,
the very dangerous mechanical.
That's where they got the Five Nights at Freddy's from, because these Chuck E. Cheese animatrons look stupid. They look crazy. They would turn
even as a child, I didn't believe that was really.
They would be motionless, and they'd like crack a 90-degree turn. Like, I agree, or like, yeah, that's fine. No, man, you're scary as shit.
You're not playing the banjo for real.
Especially when they close down, like when they stop performing the show. They would be all like stagnant, like Chucky would be wide open, like
eyes wide open.
Oh gosh, that was.
If you guys haven't had similar nightmares, then I don't know what childhood you had.
Yeah,
but I do know those animatronics were terrifying to me, especially when they became live and they started, singing and doing all that bullshit.
They came all of a sudden.
I ran straight to the ball pit and cried.
Their little video things were crazy too, because they would have music videos.
Yeah,
and picture like you're like. The Chuck E. Cheese that's in that music video. Imagine that's your claim to fame. Like, yeah, well, kids, I was that guy in the background. I was the Italian dude. Because I don't remember their names.
I don't either.
No, because I'm so disassociated with them. I don't want to be, I don't want to even know them. So, speaking of Chuck E. Cheese, ball pits, arcades, we're going still in the topic of toys. KB Toys. KB Toys rivaled that of Toys R Us. They were in malls.
It was a more humble, smaller, store.
It felt more mom and pop.
Yeah.
Way more condensed.
Yeah. I don't think there was ever a big
a lot more
individual lot store.
A lot more video games too.
Yeah. No, it was like a perfect integration of games, and it was kind of like a smaller portion of Toys R Us mixed with GameStop.
Yeah.
And the toys to me at KB were a little more underground, in my opinion.
Yeah, like, a lot more. Some of them were expensive. They used to have gas-powered RCs.
Yeah. Like, I remember that shit.
Those.
Yeah, give a child a gas-powered
RC. Have them shuffle around the newborn baby in like in one of those little Tykes, those little Tyke Fisher Price cars. Have them, I'll give you a jump and your Power Wheels down here. I got an RC here. Just take them all the way out. The experiences I had with KB Toys, they had one in Rancho Cucamonga.
Ontario Mills.
Oh, they had one in Ontario Mills too. Did they?
Yeah, KB Toys.
No, where?
KB Toys was in Ontario, dog. Ontario Mills.
I don't remember that.
It was across from the Marshalls. Nope, wrong. From the who cares? Okay. It was in there.
Okay.
Believe me, I'm not a liar.
I know, yeah.
I don't lie to people.
But there was a KB's in Rancho Cucamonga that I went to, and I remember buying my first 2 Power Rangers there.
What?
Yes, I do. Well, Mom bought them. I didn't buy them. But what ended up happening was I had the shittiest Power Rangers. I still have them. I still have, well, not the ones that I opened, but I still have a few.
You still have them just...
Yeah, I bought Trini and Zach. Because that's the only ones I was left. I had no problem with Zach. I thought Zach
well, you got a problem with Black Rangers?
What was you're mad because this Ranger's black? I'm like, what, black the color or the ethnicity of the Ranger himself? This is the touchy subject we're doing. Let me I had to read his tag. I'm like, this is a touchy subject we're doing, Steve. You're telling me you don't like the Power Ranger because he's black or because of his ethnicity? I'm like, nah, man, just give me the Power Ranger. Let's be on our way. Because be damned if we're gonna get Trini because Trini's Asian and she's the Yellow Ranger. Fuck.
I loved how specific the races were.
Those were two that were really hot topics.
We had
rest in peace, Trini, because Trini did pass away.
Rest in peace. We had a Asian Yellow Ranger.
Yeah.
We had a Black Ranger, a redneck Red Ranger. No, just like
I don't think
trying to go deep.
He did have a vest. He always had cut off like shirts.
The Blue Ranger was a Jew.
Billy, he didn't look like it. And just imagine, imagine you had a part-time job and then Zordon calls you.
Zordon calls me, like, in the middle.
Dude, bro, like, I can't be doing this. This is 3 call no-shows. Rangers, I need your help.
But
like, how are you supposed to afford these things that you want when Zordon keeps calling you? Does Zordon, like, comp you with stuff?
Does he pay him on the low?
The fate of the world is resting in your hands. But
they don't get compensated.
Yeah, and he's affecting your personal life.
He is. Like, you could be out on a date, like...
Oh my gosh, you get called up? Yeah.
Like, in the backseat going, like, third base.
I know. Going to the Angel Grove Hill, and all of a sudden, Zordon calls you. Jason, I see that you're getting really hot and heavy, but I need your help. Rita has...
Things are getting hot and heavy downtown. but
equally as hot and heavy.
Okay, tangent. We're going to... But as far as KB Toys is concerned, I definitely remember it being hot during the yo-yo craze.
Oh, yeah.
When everybody had a yo-yo. And I was definitely one of the yo-yo kids where, like, stunt yo-yoing was a thing. Everybody's doing,
those are cool, though.
Yeah, but... It was ridiculous for its time. Like,
it was a little over the top, but I mean, granted, I mean, these things were incredible. Like,
they were, but like, I'm trying to remember. Like, did I spend like $30
on a yo-yo?
On a yo-yo with like
at that 10
bearings?
No, see,
you could just throw it down and it sleeps for an hour. Don't do any tricks with it.
Those bearings were like the key. Because I remember you would have bearings, but then you'd have the yo-yo that lit up with the bearings.
Right.
And they weren't even Duncan.
Right.
Duncan, if you had a Duncan yo-yo,
you were the man.
You were the man. Because you had to tie up your own string, and because some of them had their own plastic string, but no. That wasn't doing it. You have to tie your own string.
But like, I remember I had got to the point where I understood that you had to cut the string a certain length to make it match from your
height.
Yeah. Make it match your height, and then tie it a certain kind of way, and then make sure that it's oiled. Like, there was actually yo-yo lube.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, see, that's how serious it got for me.
You would buy the lube?
I was hardcore into the scene. So, like, I would do all the around the world, double around the world, world into the Credo, like, walking the dog, getting bit by the dog. Like, if you roll it in the floor.
Getting bit by the dog.
That was a move. You throw it down in the ground, and it rolls up to your pant
leg. Put the dog to sleep?
Put the dog to sleep. You put a syringe into the yo-yo as it's spinning, and it stops.
You have to say it's fine, last goodbyes. That's cool because I used to like the yo-yos. I was captivated by the Duncan commercial. Remember, there was the kid in the alley, and him and his 2 homies were like sleeping yo-yos. Did Duncan have bearings? I didn't.
Yeah, Duncan did.
Okay,
man. Definitely.
But I don't remember because I remember like swap meets would have yo-yos with like tons of bearings in them.
Right.
I remember seeing an 8-bearing yo-yo.
Yeah, no, like, and those are the real deal, man. Like,
if
you, I remember because I was so deep in the culture, it was like if you had 3 bearings or less, you get clowned. Like,
get out of here! You only have 3 bearings.
You're a loser.
Get out!
Get out of here! Like, I was kicked out of yo-yo clubs for having less than 3 bearings.
I remember there being. You know what? I'm glad that there wasn't a yo-yo club. Because I would go in there with my I had the butterfly Duncan, the one with the fat ends. I had that one. They had no bearings. And I saw people that had bearings. I was like, man, this yo-yo sucks. But man, my mom was incredible. Like, because she would buy all the stuff that we wanted.
Right.
So it was just, it kind of, like, I had to make the most of it. At the end of the day, I had to make the most of it.
Let me ask, how did the yo-yo craze come? I don't remember when it kicked in.
It's
just out of nowhere yo-yos.
I remember seeing this dude do it on Figure It Out.
Okay.
Remember, like, Figure It Out, they would have to figure out what this guy's skill was. And this guy had a yo-yo thing. And this guy would show you how to do the yo-yo stuff. I remember seeing a bunch of videos for it, like, oh, be a yo-yo master, order this VHS. Shit. I'm like, no, I won't. No, I'm not that into yo-yos.
I'm not that
guy. There was that Dunkin' commercial where it was night and, like, all these guys are, like, doing the yo-yo tricks and stuff. But that's what I wanted to do that. And then a lot of people in my class were into yo-yos. That's when you could still bring yo-yos to school.
Yeah, because they weren't seen as like a weapon of mass destruction.
But after that, like after the yo-yo craze went in, yo-yos were banned. Like you couldn't, like in middle school, like you would like go to the corner of like Cole Middle School to like get your yo-yo on to show people.
Oh yeah.
But
to the death.
Yeah.
They were just hitting each other with the yo-yos. They weren't even doing them in... Not even using them in creative ways.
But the toys I do remember like with yo-yos. I do remember getting the Power Rangers, getting the Big Bag Beetleborgs, getting the green one, the one that was super fast. And I remember buying the last thing I ever bought from a KB Toys was Ant-Man, like the Marvel Ant-Man, and then I bought Jet Force Gemini for $20. It was a clearance sale. It was a clearance sale on the N64 stuff because that's when PlayStation 2 was coming out and stuff. But Jet Force Gemini, that's a good game. It is. It's like, but the only thing that sucks is the ninth piece that you need to complete the rocket ship to go to Mizar's Palace. This is a nerd thing, by the way. The ninth piece you need to do to get to Mizar's Palace. You need to rescue all the hostages.
Right.
And I didn't rescue all the hostages because...
You didn't know.
I didn't have the time.
Right.
And I was just... Yeah. I had the player's guide and I still didn't figure it out. I have the player's guide now.
You just read it.
Yeah. I'm going to still read that up. Anyway.
What are these words?
But yeah. So, like, with my hard-earned money of working for, like, a whole week at my uncle's house, I bought Jet Force Gemini. Oh. Yeah, man. But I remember selling that one a long time ago. Okay.
Wait, I remember... I'm sorry. The last thing that I bought from KB Toys was a Bop It.
Ooh.
Fucking bop it. Bop it. Squeeze it.
Pull
it.
Fondle it.
Harder.
Harder. It's the one with the Furby AI. Hello, Andre. Don't you want to bop it with me all night long? All night. All night.
Changing voices on the spot.
Ugh, jeez, imagine. Hello, Andre.
I just remember I got the high score and it said thank you. And it just cut off and never came back on again.
It blows up.
It's shot a
bop
load.
It will self-destruct in 5. So speaking of like action, we're on the same topic here. Let's go into old rides at classic theme parks.
Wow.
So I know we're going to touch on one about Universal Studios.
Absolutely.
But I remember still going on that monorail, not that monorail ride, but the ride, the ski lift that took you from one side of the park to the other at Disneyland.
What the hell?
Yes.
Do
you ever remember that?
No.
They shut that down, I think, in 95 or 94.
Why? Suicide jumpers? Or just like small kids can't handle?
Yeah. I think my dad's banned there. I don't know what he did, but maybe that one time.
He had something to do with it?
I think my dad said he was banned there. Like, he's banned from a lot of places. So I think he did some shit there, and that's why he's like, we gotta leave. I'm like, why are we leaving? We didn't see the fireworks that night. So like, why are we leaving? But I don't know.
Why
anyway,
are we running, Dad?
I'll
Where
ask
are we
him
going?
later. I'll ask him later. Why are we running?
Get behind the dumpster. What happened?
I remember the old Star Tours. I remember they refurbished it now. I don't know if when was the last time you went to Disneyland?
It's funny.
Was it the last time you went with me that one time?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Honestly.
Okay, so a lot of things changed.
That's the last time I've been.
Oh, man.
Fuck.
That's a long time.
That is a long time.
But a lot has changed. Like I said, Cars Land is pretty cool. Like, if you end up taking your lady with you, it's a good place. It's just really, you have to pay a lot of coin. If you want it, you'd kind of have to get
Disney, dude. Like,
you'd have to get a season pass to be like,
you gotta at least bring $1,000 to get in, then have another $1,000 for food.
No, if you had a bunch of kids, yeah. Imagine.
So I have to bring children, I have to find children, take them from the park, go to the park,
take their ticket,
leave them, and go enjoy the rides.
I just want to get one of those stamps that they have. That way you can go for re-entry and just go back in. Wouldn't that be cool?
It would be cool. My problem with Disneyland is just trying to cash in.
Well, yeah, that's why they bought Star Wars and Marvel.
Yeah, but they're about to lose their fucking minds. Like,
they're
$900 to come in.
Oh yeah, no, their prices. They actually adjusted their prices to be seasonal, but it's $96 for general admission.
Why?
That's a lot of money.
Why?
Well,
you know how many tacos
for my salary bracket, that's a lot of money.
Right.
For your salary bracket, it's a lot of money. Not for the lower class of Orange County, or people that people travel to go to this Disneyland.
Right.
People travel to go to these theme parks in California, and it's funny.
I remember I went to Disney World, and
you were telling me,
there was this dude. He had a family. It was like a family of 4.
Oh my god!
He's like, I've been saving up for 9 years.
He told you that?
Yes. He's like, I've been saving up for 9 years for this trip. Just to come to Disney World.
My Uncle Mark went the same route. He actually took Jocelyn, Matthew, and all them. He actually took them all to Disney World.
I mean, it's expensive though. It's 5 parks,
and I think he went to Universal Studios as well.
Damn.
Dude. Uncle Mark don't play.
But
anyway,
5 different parks, dude.
That's nuts. And it's there. And my aunt was telling me that you have to plan accordingly if you want to go to certain places because you have to take ferries and trolleys.
Yes.
But you were there. Yeah, I remember you were there talking about that. But yeah, it's like you have to do that to go to this place is huge.
Yeah.
But that's what Florida does. Florida has tons of space around that area. So speaking of that, now we're going into Universal Studios.
Oh, man.
There's 2 old rides that we need to touch up on because these other rides are still kind of there. Mm-hmm. I remember they had
they're somewhat there.
They had from Honey I Shrunk the Audience. Mm-hmm. They have the Terminator ride,
right?
But now that's the Minions ride.
They switch it again?
Yeah, it's now the Minions, right? It's Despicable Me. That's a cash cow,
dude. Yeah,
yeah. So now the Rugrats live action thing that they had there is the Shrek one.
What the hell?
Now and then they tore down one of the studios one of the old studios that actually produced the Phantom of the Opera. One of the oldest production studios.
Why?
They tore it down for the Harry Potter world.
Oh, okay. I guess.
Well, I mean,
make it work.
There's not going to be a lot of people alive to feel I remember this. Yeah, it's
they're all dead. Is that what you're saying? They're all dying one by one.
Well, yeah, it was 1930s. I hope they're all dead. Well, I'm not. I hope they are because they're going to be on their bed, all dead
so we can have Harry Potter world.
It's like when, well, yeah, just, speaking of that, I don't want to go on a quick tangent, but there's this one guy who's 98 years old who's getting tried for Nazi war crimes.
What?
Life in prison, you old goat. Anyway, I want to let you know that. That's crazy. 98.
Why?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, because he's a Nazi, man. What do you want?
Come on.
What do you want?
He's already lived life. It's already over.
Okay.
Sorry.
But so I remember we just rehashed the idea the viewing of the ET ride.
Yeah.
But that brought back with me was a bunch of memories from my subconscious. I remember
deep.
I remember seeing the police, and I remember seeing that, but I don't remember seeing the small cityscape.
Yeah, there's a small cityscape portion because you guys actually do fly into the sky and do the whole. You recreate the ET finale scene, so you look down at a toy model of a city. But as a kid, that shit was real to me, and I was freaking out. I was crying. I cried every time I rode that ride. But I loved the ride, so I was a confused and lost child.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you end up floating in the sky, looking down at the city or whatever. And then you eventually fly into a green light, and you're now on E.T.'s planet. And the ride ends with you, checking out E.T.'s planet. And then there's E.T. at the end speaking to you, saying, everybody's name that was involved on the ride itself. So it's he'll say, "Thank you, Mark."
Legend Gary 323 commented that KB Toys on Ontario Mills was across the street from the TJ Maxx or the Marshalls.
Thank
you.
Right. Thank you.
So you're right.
Good looking. Thank you, sir.
So, and then Discovery Zone, what's much better than Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah, of course.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, absolutely.
We're all in agreement.
There is no one that's going to deny that claim.
But, so E.T.
Yeah, E.T.
Just imagine if you were the guy that, read, you would, imagine you're a mischievous kid and you're, on the E.T. ride and you're like, fuck you. You're hello, fuck you. Hello, Derek.
Thank you. Fuck you. I remember, so at the, what happens is, before you get on this ride, let me comment on this first. there was a lot more love that went into the pre-world. Like when you're waiting in line before you get on the ride.
A lot of hype.
A lot of hype to build up to the ride. Because
Okay.
it immerses you in the world of E.T. first of all. Then they play a video with Steven Spielberg just chilling with E.T. He's like, yeah, look, I'm a little busy making films. I need you guys to take E.T. home, okay? Is that cool? And then that's the end of the video. Then you guys get on the ride.
We don't find a way back after the end of the ride.
No, at the end of the ride, you just go to E.T.'s world. You live there now. That's it. That's the end of it.
Yeah.
He thanks you, and then they eat you.
Because I remember in the Spanish translation that we were reading, it said, like, it was called the La Planeta Verde. The green planet.
That's where he lives. He lives on the green planet.
All right. Like, that's the name? Like, come on. A little more creativity, Mr. Spielberg.
But as far as rides are concerned, I feel like they put the right amount of finances and love into this ride. I mean, you really were immersed in the experience.
That's how Universal Studios does it.
The fucking ride itself was a fake bike.
You're on a bike, yeah.
It's a fake bike, and I don't see that same love going into rides. I'm seeing more laziness. I mean, have you heard about the Revolution?
Oh, yeah, well, it's virtual reality now.
They're applying virtual reality to roller coasters now. Yeah. So I assure you guys who's listening, expect in the next 10 years for most of your roller coasters and or simple rides to have virtual reality to cut away from the fact that they don't want to be creative with the ride. Like, I can put you on a ride that's just up and down humps. I know. If you got virtual reality on it, you can think anything. We're riding dragons. Like, you can think anything with virtual reality. It's a shortcut.
Cheap cop out.
It is a cheap cop out.
And we went recently to Six Flags for your birthday.
Yeah.
And Revolution X looks good by itself.
Exactly. Now it's the new Revolution.
Why do you need to put like an Oculus on somebody? Like, if I was on that ride, I would deny the Oculus. I'm like, dude, I don't want to wear nasty.
I'm gonna ride this naturally.
Nasty like
that's been on like hundreds and hundreds of faces.
Who's gonna sanitize these things? I'm more concerned about their health.
Right, the sanitation behind the virtual reality itself.
Oh my gosh!
No, you have to pay $200 for your own VR to even use it.
Imagine Six Flags decided to go super cheap, and they're like, "Wear this Oculus the whole time you're in Six Flags, and you're transported to this old space area," or like, it's like every step of the way,
everywhere even in line, the people around you are aliens or something strange.
So, speaking of the E.T. ride, like I do remember that when I was little, and I don't remember that much as far as that. And I do remember the studio tour.
Oh yeah, the studio
had
tour
had a lot more Jaws
analog, if you want to call it that, and thus digital.
And then they had that animatronic King Kong.
Oh, absolutely.
I do remember that scaring me a lot, but they had a
that was
one of the things that burnt down. That's one of the things that burnt down during the.
The Great Universal Studio fires?
In 98, they had a fire in the back lot, which sucked.
It was from Backdraft.
Because the old clock tower burnt down.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But they remade it, and it was still from the same thing.
Tell
you what, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back live on this Mark and Andre podcast. We'll resume very shortly. Like I said, this was brought to you by Game Swappers. Game Swappers, buy, sell, and trade. Your retro game items. You can come in contact with Game Swappers at 909-267-4270. They're located at 4520 Hope Boulevard in Montclair, California, zip code 91763. They do buy, sell, and trade to all 50 states, so make sure to catch them if you're going to do a claim sale. We'll resume real quick shortly with the Mark and Andre podcast after a quick commercial break.